Hi, you're watching Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our platforms. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio, and that young man is.
Matt Metris in Rochester, New York.
Yeah, and Matt. First of all, when people are watching this, they may not know we are taping this during National and International Tequila Day. So
That is true.
have a hopefully you've had a great tequila because
Exactly.
when you're watching this, it could be Mexican Independence Day by that point. Who knows?
Right? Yeah. I took all
Um,
my bottles out today and lined them up, took a picture.
There you go. Terrific. Well, if I did that, I'd still be working on it. I have a hard time getting away. I'm hoarding empties, and I have like two shelves that I'm working on because some of these empties are just beautiful bottles, and
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
just since I've been here because I still have bottles in storage in New Mexico. So I'm probably going to require another two shelves, and
Yeah, what can you do?
yeah, tough life, right? Tonight, we have a very interesting brand that we're going to taste tonight. You guys may have seen the picture we posted on Instagram. This, you can see the name it's Viva 23
32.
or 32. Is it 32 or 23? I
Yeah.
can't. I've lost
See,
count.
they threw us off with the Roman numerals, but it's three X's and two
Oh,
X.
three X's and a two. Okay, well, bingo. Um, look at how trippy this design is. This is really trippy.
It is a really pretty looking bottle.
Yeah, very interesting. I'll read you some of the information on it, but I think this is the Blanco that we're going to try. The PR company reached out to us. There are two expressions. The PR company is called Janice McCafferty PR. They reached out to us, and there are two expressions. One is a Blanco,
I think,
and
Mike, I think it's actually a Hoven.
a Joven. I'm sorry, it's a Joven, and then the other one is a Reposado. So I think we're going to try the Joven first, and the just to give you all a heads up. This is coming from Destilería Leiros, and it is a Joven tequila. Let me find the gnome because
For 1489.
1489.
Yeah.
For those of you who have been watching us, you know that 1489 is Destilería Leiros. This will be an interesting tequila because I interviewed the master distiller, the owner of this distillery, for our diffuser, uh, our craft tequila and diffuser articles. Very forthcoming, very nice man. If you're not familiar with this distillery, he also makes Republic tequila, and you may not have seen this one. Bear with me here. I'm probably off camera. He's also made this tequila, which you might have seen on TV at a reality show. It's called Don Fermin, and you can see the bottles are beautiful. But
Mhm.
Matt, tell everybody what other tequila he makes.
He makes Casa Dragones,
Yes.
which, if you can afford it, is very, very good.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's I think it's overpriced. But tonight we're gonna try the Joven version, which now that's interesting because um, I'm not sure how many times you can make a Joven and make it taste different.
Yeah.
Um,
And most places don't really try. There's not a lot of Hovens even on the market.
No, it's an unusual expression. It is a valid category according to the gnome. So it's kind of old. This Joven is an estate grown, 100% blue agave, meticulously blended with it says our 3-year-old extra añejo. Now, I'm not I'm not aware that they have a 3-year-old extra añejo because we didn't get it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it from the marketing and their website, but
But we're gonna try a Joven. Um,
and should we mention for anybody who might not be familiar, a Joven is a blend of a silver and either an añejo or an extra añejo.
yeah.
And if you're inexperienced to tequila, it's not something you'll see very often at the liquor store.
No, it's a very subtle expression, but it is recognized by the CRT as a valid
Yes.
expression. Apparently, the Reposado is aged 6 months in new American oak barrels, so
Okay.
I'd imagine that the extra añejo is the same type of barrels.
Yeah.
For anybody who has seen pictures of Destilería Leiros, they have a beautiful barrel room, and he's very forthcoming with information. His name is Enrique Legorreta. Very nice guy. Very, people. He doesn't hide the fact that he makes tequilas with a diffuser, and there's some very reputable brands coming out of there. I have other tequilas. Mention the ones that you said you had some before, Matt. That
With a diffuser, Sauza, El Jimador. I got to see the diffuser at Casa Sauza, and it's humongous. It's the size of an entire factory room.
yeah, it's like a
It's
big
really
train,
impressive.
isn't it? It's as big as a
Yeah.
train. Yeah.
And they don't let you take pictures of it either. So they're very secretive about their
Geez,
diffuser.
I wonder why.
Yeah. But if you do it when the tour guide's not looking, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But,
What? Do you have any you can share?
I don't know if I have it right here on the computer. Let me.
No, not right now. But I mean,
Okay, yeah.
maybe off camera you can share a couple of those pictures because I'm aware of all the distilleries that actually have one. There's a
Yeah.
couple that people may not know actually are building one.
Okay.
So I just like keeping tabs on stuff like that because people are always asking us, how do we not support tequilas made with a diffuser? And really that's a list that doesn't exist, and very few people will actually share that with you. There is a stigma. There's a stigma attached to making tequilas that way. But I will tell you, by and large, that the flavor profiles coming out of this distillery, and he doesn't hide the fact that he has a diffuser. In fact, it's the centerpiece of his distillery. These are pretty good. I would put them over and above the ones you mentioned.
Sure. Yeah.
So let's give this a shot, so to speak. I don't know. My lighting here is not the greatest. I have some nighttime lighting here. I'm going to worry about in a second. Matter of fact, I'm gonna turn this light behind me on. Bear with me. I'm gonna jump off camera here in a second.
Sure thing. I got a nice little light next to my computer here that's kind of illuminating this from the side, so that might be helping. I was just saying I got some good lighting here right on the side of my computer.
Oh, excellent.
It's making this nice and shiny.
Well, the tequilas that are coming out of this distillery are really pristine. Like I said, you can look at what we did with Republic Tequila, and it's beautiful. As far as now, this is a Joven, so it's going to be blended with their añejo.
Right. And presumably there's some sort of filtration that's happening there to get this color.
It could be, because I think that's what they did with Casa Dragones as well. I think it is filtered. It's almost like they're trying to make a Cristalino, those.
Sure. Yeah.
But they're doing it more in a traditional way, which is making a Joven.
Yeah.
I'll buy that.
Sure.
I'll go there. So it's really nice legs and tiers.
Mm-hmm.
Very pretty. It's almost runny, surprisingly. I thought it would cling more to the glass, but Yeah, I mean it's very attractive. It's almost like a It almost looks like a Blanco.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, oh wow.
It's definitely aromatic. Like before I even put it towards my nose, I started smelling it.
Yeah. Oh wow. It's
So
got a nice. It's got a nice wood notes. Is that wood? I'm getting?
yeah, like wood mixed with like vegetation, maybe. Yeah, like a forest. It smells like being right out
Like
in the
maybe
forest.
botanicals or something, right?
Yeah.
Like a gin or something.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's a surprise. I can tell you that the other diffused tequilas that I've had from this distillery don't have this nose. But then again,
Hmm.
other than Casa de Dragones, I've not had a Joven from this distillery.
Sure, absolutely.
Wow. I can even smell agave, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's subtle, but there's something else I can't put my finger on. That's
Well, I don't want to call it mustiness from a barrel, but it's more maybe brine,
yeah, it is a little briny.
like an olive oil maybe or something like
Yeah,
that.
right. Yeah, absolutely.
It's really pleasant on the nose. I was surprised.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah, it is.
huh. Well, let's give it a try. Let's see what the taste is. Oh wow.
Super thin in the mouthfeel.
Yeah.
That's. I'm getting a lot of spice right up front,
Yes.
like black pepper.
I didn't get the woodsiness, the foresty kind of thing
Hmm.
on the
Hmm.
on the intake. Maybe on the back of the palate, it just kind of disappeared so quickly. Okay, there's a bitterness
Hmm.
like on the back end of my palate, like on the sides of my tongue. There's a bitterness.
Sure.
Um, I I tasted that same type of bitterness with Republic Tequila as well.
Okay.
So
Do you
this
think
is.
that's a byproduct of the diffuser, or?
I've talked to other people that have said that is a telltale sign that there's some bitterness, but for everybody it appears differently. One guy that I know, one taster that I know swears by that. And I have actually had another diffused tequila. We had it last year that was really bitter. I mean, it was like biting
Mhm.
into an aspirin. So the bitterness was more pronounced. This
Yeah,
one is a little bit more subtle. It's more on the sides of my palate
absolutely.
and the
I
back.
I picked up a little sweetness right in the middle at the same time as the bitterness on the sides, but the bitterness is lingering and the
Yeah.
sweetness is.
Yeah. I have been told that the bitterness is a byproduct of a diffused tequila. But again, if I were to compare this to the mainstream diffused tequilas, this is a notch above.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And this being a Joven, I my own personal theory is that when you have a diffused tequila, it seems to acquire the characteristics of the barrel or an infusion
Mm.
much easier, because when it comes out of the still, these are not only diffused, but they also are continuous column distillation, like rum or like
Sure.
vodka.
Yeah,
So in essence, what you get is an agave vodka.
right.
The, the some purists believe that the diffuser strips the agave characteristics of from a tequila. But
Mhm.
by the same token, since there's really not a whole lot of character in there. It acquires, if you got a great barrel manager and you're doing great barrel management, you're going to come up with some really hearty stuff.
Right.
What do you think, man? What's the verdict from you? Because from what I understand, from the information I have here from the PR company, the Joven Tequila runs $40.
Right.
And the Reposado was $45.
Right. And one thing that's really interesting is they included in the stuff that they sent and on their website, they have a breakdown of how all the money works out. And
well, let me back up and tell you who this person is. The brand owner of this tequila is a philanthropist. Her name is Yvonne Niami, I believe, like Miami only with an N. And Yvonne is a huge philanthropist. And the information we have here is that 10% of the net proceeds they donate to animal abuse prevention. So
correct. Yeah.
So this is part of her charity work that she's known for. She's actually a well-known philanthropist in the field, in the business. That's her main deal. So what's the breakdown? How does that work?
So at the $40 price point, $3.50 goes into the production of the tequila, $2.50 goes into the bottle, $4 in taxes, $20 in markup, presumably that's the distributor, importer, retail store, bar, whatever, right. And $9 is their cut. And no BS is the what they added on the end.
No, well, I beg to differ, but I want to concentrate on her, what her main focus was.
Absolutely.
And I have been told that, and I think from her PR company when they first reached out to us, is that Yvonne wanted to create a tequila that I guess what happened was she was upset with the fact that tequila was so expensive and that you shouldn't have to pay an arm and a leg for tequila.
Sure.
And, the result is, Viva 23.
Yeah.
And her mascot is I guess she has a pet chihuahua?
Yeah, he's all over. He's all over. He's on the bottle. Let's see if I can get him there.
I don't know.
His name's Phil.
Phil?
Yeah.
I don't know who he's named after, but it doesn't matter. See,
yeah, he's on the bottle. He's all over the marketing material. He's on the website.
Yeah, so this it's kind of like Bruiser from Legally Blonde.
Right.
But I tell you what, I love the packaging. I love the design. I love the fact that she went with at least a reputable distiller who is making reputable tequila. Regardless of what you may think of the brands that come out of there, he is not afraid to stand behind his work. So I think if you're looking for a good charity organization, if you're looking for something that will will do a couple of things for you, and maybe you don't want it, maybe you like Casa Dragones, and if you do, you don't want to pay the $120, what is it, the $163 price point
for the silver. Yeah, the Joven's even more.
Yeah. The Joven was what, $276, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we sell it at our restaurant for $35 a pour, so it's
really,
it's not inexpensive. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've had enough of it. It's been a while since I've had any of mine. I have some up in my cabinets. But do you think this is comparable to the Casa Dragones? Because I recall Casa Dragones doesn't have a nose like this.
It definitely does not have a nose like this. I think I liked, as best I can remember, I think I preferred the taste in the Casa Dragones. But again, the economics of the situation is not, Casa Dragones is not something I would ever consider drinking on a regular basis or anything like that.
Yeah. But I think this is well done. I think
Yeah,
if you're looking to, if you're a person who wants to experiment with tequila, you're not sure you want to take the full dive, this might be a great gateway.
yeah,
And especially in the Joven category, which is a rarity. I think
that is true.
the
That is
Joven
true.
category right now is probably populated by 3 tequilas, and this is one of them.
Yeah, exactly, right?
We did actually. Rick and I tasted a really good Joven earlier in the season. I don't even think it's even aired yet. I'll have to check and see. But the other one, is, of course, is Casa de Aragones, and I think that's the third. This is the third one. It's not a very sought after category, but I wish more people would make more of them. Instead of going with the Cristalino where they age it and then they're stripping the color out of it, just make a Joven.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Cristalino fad is kind of on the downswing, and maybe the Hoven can take its place.
Hey, if and again, if you do like a Cristalino and and those tend to be expensive also, they're not cheap.
Yeah, yeah,
Then you might want to look at something like this.
absolutely.
Again, it's in the it's a approachable, financially approachable price point.
Sure thing. Absolutely.
And all the money, most all the money goes to charity. So what could
Yeah, that's a nice added benefit. You
Yeah.
can feel good drinking this.
Well, yeah, especially if you're an animal lover,
Right.
because I think it's a very noble effort. I'm very glad that she went with at least a distiller that has a reputation for making some very decent diffused tequilas, and somebody who's not going to hide about it. Because, like you said, some places don't want you to take.
They don't want
pictures.
you to know.
Yeah, they don't want you to know.
And some places, they have a diffuser, but they have autoclaves too, so you can't even be certain what's their contract distillery. It could be either or, and you'll never know unless you're there when they're making it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even Herradura at this point says that they use the diffuser post baking, but they use the diffuser for El Jimador, and
Right.
and they don't bake anything for that. So how they make that determination and when they do it, that's still a private secret. So
Yeah. And if you don't know much about diffusers, you basically are skipping the whole baking step and blasting the uncooked piñas with high pressure steam and sulfuric acid in order to extract the juices. And then you take the juice and then you cook that in an autoclave. And the primary benefit is the economics of it. You can make a diffused tequila in about 3 hours with cooking and extraction versus 24-ish with an autoclave and a roller mill. So there's a huge time saving there if you're making a lot of tequila.
And that explains the price point too. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
That's the reason she could come to market with a $45 tequila.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I don't want to use the word trade-off, but that it's all about economics, right?
Yeah.
If you want to have a $40 tequila, you got to get to that price point somehow. So
Yeah, because we've had tequilas made more traditionally, or at least baked and shredded, that are forced to be at the $40 price range, and they're not making money. So
Right.
at least in this case, Yvonne's whole thing was, let's make money so that I can make money for my charity, and
right,
that's what happens.
exactly.
So for a purely economic standpoint, good move. Can't
Mhm.
complain. But anyway, thanks for that, for the info on the diffuser. That was very insightful. I like the way you put that, because I'm probably a lot more anti-diffuser, because I lean more toward the traditional and purist way.
Sure.
If I want vodka, I'll go get some. I rinse my mouth out with vodka. You think I'm kidding? Watch.
No.
This is my go-to vodka for mouthwash. Okay, and what happens is, while you're watching this, I've already done 4 tastings with it with Jim Johnston, and we're doing 2 more. So needless to say, I'm not swallowing everything, but some of these tequilas, will coat the palate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we found that this one is rather thin. as far as palate, But like you said, what did linger was the bitterness on the sides.
Yeah,
and absolutely. I've heard that said that is the telltale sign. But I've had some that were just way worse. So this one, absolutely. It accomplishes. It set out to do a certain thing. It accomplished it. More power to her, because if $9 of that goes to the charity, hey, then because she's not. From my understanding, is she's very well off and doesn't really need to make money like a traditional brand owner would. So
sure.
Anyway, that's our take on Viva 23 Joven. But stick with us, because we got a reposado that we're going to try in a little bit, and Matt's going to help me dissect that sucker. But here's that Chihuahua.
Phil's his name,
Phil
right?
the Chihuahua. You know what? Just for kicks and giggles, I want to nominate this for packaging. What do you think?
Absolutely. This bottle is really, really pretty.
I think it photographs really well. If you check out on Instagram, you can see I did some. I used the design against it, and came up with a really cool picture. So.
Oh, I bet. I haven't seen that, but they have an Instagram. I think #Viva32, and they have their bottle in all sorts of unique places on their Instagram feed. I was checking that out earlier.
Yep, they we tagged them on our picture. So anyway, like I said, that's our take. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio. That young man is
Matt Metris in Rochester, New York.
You've been watching Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media, all of our platforms. Don't forget to subscribe in whatever format you are watching or listening to us. And as we like to say here, tomar sabiamente.